Well, wait till you see this, because this month marks 5 years since Instagram started snapping up users in a flash. More than 40 billion photos later. Wow, the social media phenomenon keeps finding new ways to capture your heart and your eyes, too, including on our Instagram feed, we're proud to say. Only on CBS This Morning, the co-founders give us an unfiltered look at how it all came together. You ever ride in from San Francisco on your bike?
No.
Here in Silicon Valley, Kevin Systrom has proven a picture's worth much more than 1,000 words.
Remember, 75% of the people that use Instagram are not inside the United States.
In October 2010, Systrom and co-founder Mike Krieger launched Instagram, a photo-sharing app now used by 400 million people around the world.
When it started 5 years ago, neither one of you could have predicted or expected this. So what was your expectation? What was your hope for this company?
We pressed the button a little bit after midnight to launch it to the Apple App Store. And immediately people just started flowing in, all these email addresses signing up. The first day we had 25,000 people sign up. And, you know, both of us kind of looked at each other and
said, whoa.
Yeah.
Before developing Instagram, Systrom called on Krieger, a software engineer, to work on a location-sharing app called Bourbon.
What did he say he wanted to do?
The website captured it really well. So if you went to bourbon.com, it said a new way of communicating and sharing in the real world. And I was excited about being able to help people tell their stories when they're out and about, not when they're at their computers at home, you know, downloading 100 photos from their last weekend, but that instant right then and there.
Yeah. What did you see, Kevin?
A hope and a dream and not much reality. So we just had to go after the idea that we could create an app that let people take advantage of the phone in their pocket. We sat down in a room together one of those first days and we listed out the things that people loved most about Bourbon. At the very top was photography. And we just circled it, and I remember we crossed everything off, and then from that point forward, we worked on Instagram.
Today, Systrom and Krieger are joined by a team of 250 employees. Instagram's headquarters, shared with other tech businesses like their parent company Facebook, has a community feel of a college campus. Inside the office, there are conference rooms named after popular hashtags like TBT and selfie, where employees strategize to create new ideas.
I love the name Instagram. Comes from where?
Comes from a very long brainstorming exercise. At some point, and this is also helpful having a co-founder, is we knew the kinds of things we had to get done before launch, and we also knew we needed a name.
What were some of the rejects of Instagram?
Gather, which was they had an acorn and a squirrel as its icon.
I designed a very nice acorn
It was
in
really
Photoshop.
cute. Yes.
Gather, okay.
Yeah. Instalux was another one. We had this list, and it's funny, I distinctly remember the exact moment when we saw Instagram, and we were both kind of like, yeah, that could work.
Let's talk about the selfie for a second, because when I saw the selfie feature, I go, why would I take a picture of myself? And then, so you go to that to, here I am at the Jay-Z concert, hey, there's Taylor Swift behind me. So it goes from that to who would ever do it to now everybody does it. How do you feel about selfies?
If you look at art throughout history, a dominant subject is pictures of people. So portraits are not a new thing. It just means that now instead of paying someone to paint your portrait, you can tap a button and you have an instant portrait. And it's kind of cool to think of an entire generation of people will get to record their lives and look back on them.
I'm seeing more ads on Instagram. Is that a good thing?
Two things. One is
you're going through your feed and then there's an ad.
Yeah. Well, someone's got to pay the bills. Instagram is not cheap to run, and we want to make sure we can invest for the future.
An average of 80 million photos are shared on Instagram every day. Giving people a platform to share their view of the world is what Systrom is most proud of.
There were, riots in Baltimore. And Devin Allen, a photographer on the ground, was taking photos as a photojournalist, but really as an Instagram user. And one of the photos he posted to Instagram became the cover of Time. When Snowstorm Juno hit in this past winter, the front cover of the New York Times the next morning was a series of Instagram images by normal people just using Instagram. And I think it speaks volumes to the power of citizen journalism and citizen participation in photography being out in the world.
What makes a good Instagram for you? Is there a good day? Is there a good time?
I mean, from the very beginning, we realized our weekends are huge. So weekends are our prime time.
My favorite is Throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know if
your
you
favorite?
participate. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, seeing pictures of my parents when they were kids, my friends when they were kids, even just seeing like memories that people care about. It's become this crazy trend with hashtag TBT, and now everyone does it. It's pretty cool.
Instagram was only 2 years old when Facebook took notice of its cool factor. In 2012, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg signed a $1 billion deal with Instagram to purchase the app.
It's one of those things where there's clear pros and cons. The risk is, you know,
What
the company.
is the con to not accepting $1 billion for your company? I'm just trying to figure
I mean,
that
we
out.
built this thing from the ground up, and we felt very much that we had
your baby.
ideas. It's our baby. There were so many things still to this day that we think of that we'd like to do with it. So it was, you know, is this going to mean we don't get to do what we love? Will it get away from us? You know, he's talking about it being independent, but will it really play out that way? What are we giving up?
Is there a little teeny, tiny part of you all that just thinks, God, we should have just kept it because all of it would be ours?
I would say that if we were in a bad spot right now, if we weren't growing as quickly as we are, if monetization didn't look as promising as it does, I'd worry about it. But frankly, at the end of the day, an entrepreneur measures their impact they have on the world.
So, Mike, you never get a call from Mark Zuckerberg that says, why are you guys doing this? Or why don't you try fill in the blank?
Oh, he'll have opinions, and you can tell that it took maybe a year actually for him to fully, like, you know, settle into how he works with us. Because with other product groups, he'll say, no, you guys are doing this, you know, like this is why.
There are
And he
numerous
means
times
it.
where I've said, like, no, we're not going to do that. And he's like, are you sure? Because I really would do it the other way. And like, yeah, we're going to do it this way. And much to his credit, he's allowed us to run this thing very independently. And I know there are times where we don't necessarily agree. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes he's right. Basically, we find that it's 50-50. And I think that's part of the fun part of learning.
And now I look at Instagram and I can't imagine the world really without Instagram. Such a good name, too, Instagram. Such a great name.
We could have called it anything, and like, as long as people loved it. But the good news is we didn't call it Gather.
Well, I was going to say,
Back to that now. Is that the flow? It's fascinating.
I think so, too. You know, you said you love my Instagrams. It was so sweet, guys. They gave me a book of some of my Instagrams. And Charlie, because I know you love following me, I'm going to make sure you get a little,
thank you.
that you get to look at it. But Instagram comes from the word Insta and
Yeah.
Telegram.
It's great.
It's doing really
Great
great.
interview.
5 years
And
and
an
counting.
interesting match with Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, very